Well, hello there. Mr. E's Mysteries and Magics is back despite the wailing and gnashing of teeth. Anyway, this is the tutorial for the effect that I call intuition or magic. This trick goes by different names too as well. I originally learned it under the name Show Me a Trick, and the video I saw it on actually had the magician turning to a group of people and asking one of them to show him a trick. And he says, if someone, most people will say no, but if someone starts to do a trick, you just take the cards back and say, I've already seen that one. I don't like that for two reasons. Number one, I just think it's rude to pull the cards back and say, I've already seen that. When you ask them to do a trick, let them do the darn trick. I mean, just for starters. And again, he said most of the people don't do one anyway. But I also don't like using the word trick, as most of you know. So I would never turn to someone and say, show me a trick. I don't do it that way. I skip that part and I go right into, asking someone if they believe in women's intuition. And then, of course, I use, a woman to participate in the effect with me. Again, you can change this around any single way you want. Any kind of pattern or presentation that fits your personal preferences, go with it. Anyway, this effect, as I said, is I call it intuition or magic. But some of you may remember an original effect of mine. This is not original, but I did an original effect of which there is a video, and you can check it out. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's called No Marked Cards. Well, this effect should simply be called, hell yeah, these are marked cards. And that is the secret to the whole thing. This is a marked deck. I'm not even going to tell you which deck I'm using, except to say that it is a marked deck. You can use any marked deck, whichever one is your favorite, whether it's a homemade one or something that you purchase. And speaking of purchasing, you can always buy marked decks at RP Magic Shop, Ludlow, Massachusetts. Check them out. The link to their website's below. And if you're in the United States, a $40 order gets you free shipping. So if you need any marked cards or cards of any sort, check out RP Magic Shop. Anyway, moving on. How does the effect work? Well, of course, you hand the cards to the person. They do the shuffle, and then you tell them, put the cards down and do a cut. All right, so they cut the cards. Now, a lot of times when you do that, you do a magician's choice, but there is no magician's choice involved here. You simply say to them, pick the half that you want to work with. Whichever one they point to, you give it to them. It doesn't matter whether they take this one or this one. All right, so you first take your cards and you go through the deck and you pick out a card. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. You may recall in the demo, I did not show you on the video what card I took out of the deck because it doesn't matter. You're not going to pay a lick of attention to this. This is a bunch of hooey. Okay, so you put that down. Okay, ta-da. They pick a card. Now, she happened to pick the fake she that I had in the last, demo tutorial, the demo video, pick the ace of diamonds. All right, so again, we'll pretend that the participant picked the ace of diamonds and put it down here. Okay, you say to them, now take my card and put it in your half of the deck. Okay, now take your card, and this is a key move. At this point, while you're pointing to their card, you're reading the back of the card. And at this point, this is when you find out that your participant chose the ace of diamonds. And they're going to take that, and they're going to put that in the middle of your half of the deck somewhere. All right, now, the next step, you tell them to take the two decks and to shuffle them up. And again, I'll just do it once. Whoop. Get it into position here. A quick shuffle once, and they're going to do it 2 or 3 times, whatever. And as I said earlier, I believe in the demo video, you can have anyone sitting at the table do this shuffle. In fact, before I forget too, this effect really, really, really is great at parties, and someday we will have parties again. This is you have people sitting around a coffee table or in a living room or somewhere. It works really best in an informal setting like that because it's just a very informal, fun effect to do in that kind of loose and easy, comfortable setting. I don't do this one in places like bars or anything like that. I really save this one for actually people that you know. I mean, this is just a lot of fun to do with them. All right, so anyway, moving on. They do the shuffle, and you ask them to go through the deck and find whatever card they think you pulled out. And then you can ask, blah, 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 and they're going to go through and take their time. And in the video, the demo video, the person pulled out had the fake person put out the 5 times. So okay, so take it, put it down, don't show it to anybody, just you. You're the only one who knows about it. Don't show it to me. Don't show it to any of the other spectators. Put it face down on the table. Again, it does not matter what card they pull out here. Whatever it is, you're going to end up reading the back of it. Okay, so you do that, and then you take the deck back, and you're going to go through, and you are going to find the Ace of Diamonds. I mentioned when I was doing the demo video that at a certain point you look over, you stop looking at the cards, you're going through the cards and you're looking at them. At a certain point you stop looking at the cards and you look over to your left or your right or wherever your participant is, and you look in the participant's eyes as you continue to push the cards in, as if you're trying to read their eyes as to which card it is. This is how that works. You go through the deck, you look at the deck, of course, until you find their card. At that point, you kind of mark it with your middle finger or your index finger, and you just kind of keep your hand on it, maybe with your thumb, and then you kind of keep going. And at this point, when you found their card, that's when you start looking over in their eyes, and you keep pushing cards over and over and over. And you've got it actually with this hand marked with your finger, and you just keep pushing and pushing as if you're looking at other cards and trying to gleam it out of their eyes. And then at some point, you just take that card of theirs. Again, I said, index fingers of one hand or the other, whatever you're comfortable with, doesn't matter. And then you're going to slip that card, and of course, it will be the Ace of Diamonds. You put it down. The rest of the pack you don't need, you put it aside. You say to them then now, what was your card? And they tell you Ace of Diamonds, and you say, okay, there it is. Of course, I am a magician, so you expect me to get it right. And again, you may or may not get some response from your audience. Doesn't really matter whether you do or not. Then you go to the participant, and you ask them, how did you pick the card? Are you sure you don't believe in women's intuition? You do believe in the women's intuition, and you don't believe in magic, blah, blah, blah. However the conversation goes, doesn't make a lick of difference. You just kind of go with the flow of whatever their answer is. And then, before they turn the card over, and if you want, you can even just kind of keep your finger on it. Of course, in the meantime, you're reading the markings while you're talking to them and just, taking a quick look and maybe pointing at the card. And pointing at the card, both this time and earlier, is when you're looking at their card, pointing at the card gives you an excuse to look down at the card so that you're not obviously taking a look at the back of the card and staring at it. You're pointing at it, and people expect you to look at it while you're pointing at it, okay? So that is a little bit of misdirection, and that's important to this particular effect. So anyway, you ask them their questions, you have your little conversation, and then you can turn to the other spectators and turn away from your participant, and you say something like, I don't think she got it. I don't think she was able to get my 5 of diamonds. Or something like that. Some way you let them know my card was the 5 of diamonds. Now, you don't really want them to flip the card over right then and there, but if they do, that's okay. It's not an issue. You turn back and say, well, now again, you very well may get a response from the participant because they know what card they picked, and they know that they did pick the 5 of diamonds, and the others at this point won't know anything, and your participant may react to that. And then, of course, you say, well, let's see how you did, and you flip it over, and there is the 5 of diamonds. So the question is, did your participant discover your card by magic or by intuition? The answer may never be known because it is something that will always leave us baffled.